Hello, nice to see you again. I'm Freeze. In this tutorial, I'll show you how to use Beckhoff.TwinCAT TF6100 to configure a OPCUA client and then to make a connection with Keyence PLC with their OPCUA server. I know that in so many tutorials, they only show you how to make the connection with a non-security policy, but here I will show you how to configure it with a security policy also. Let's start. Okay, now we'll start to configure the OPCUA server side in the Keyence PLC. Before we start to configure it, there's a little thing we need to confirm. The first one is the version of the KV Studio. You can go to Help and Version Info to check the version of your KV Studio now. Make sure that your version is upper than 11.40, and also your firmware of your PLC need to up to 2.4 something. But don't worry, while you download the software from KV Studio to Keyence PLC, they automatically upgrade your firmware. Okay, now here is the KV Studio. Let me create new project. Go to File, New Project, and enter your project name, My PLC OPCUA Demo Yen. Okay, just wait a second. Okay, here's some new features of new version of KV Studio. Just set later. Could you want to open the unit setting info now? Yes. Then there is hardware configuration screen of the Keyence KV Studio. Double click it. And slow here, you can see a tab called Setup Unit. In the setup here side, you can set the IP or which port are using, which protocol are using in your CPU. Then the first we need to set is the IP address. Go to here, base IP address, and set the IP address 3.45 I will use in this case. Okay, submaster select all. And then the next one, just slow down. Here is a setting called OPCUA server setting. And then the first one is OPCUA server enable. Just drop to and change the setting to enable. Then here a pop-up show you that if you enable the OPCUA server, you allow all other devices to access the variables inside your PLC. Is that okay or not? Yes. And here you see endpoint URL. That is the URL that you exactly need to write down in somewhere for your OPCUA client to access your server. And here is OPCUA server setting. Just go to here to click a button. Yes. Here actually here is some security policy and certificate stuff, but I will change it later and explain to you. But in this step now, just keep in default and press OK. Go File and Close. Okay, now you configure your OPCUA server. The next steps, you need to create some node for the OPCUA client to accept. How to do it? Go to Variables, double click it. There's a variable editor. Let's create some variable here. The first one is my view. The next one is my int array. The next one is my boot. And then change the data type. The first one is view here. Yes. The second one is integer array. So we have 15 integer. Okay. The last one is bool. BOOL. Yes. Okay. Okay, finish it. And here there's a OPCUA setting here. You drop it down. There's 3 items that you can set. The first one is private. The second one is in out. The last one is output. So private is a option that don't allow any OPCUA client to access these variables. Then in out is a option that allow the client to write or read your variables. And finally, output is a setting for just read only. Okay. So the first one I will set to The second one is actually in out. The last one is also in out. Okay, when that was finished, close it and go to monitor simulation and transfer the PLC monitor mode. Continue settings, clear the error, select all and execute. Oh, this is also another option because now my CPU is empty, nothing inside. When first time I download a project with a OPCUA setting into my PLC, they'll ask you to create a server key or not. Make sure yes. And just input somewhere in here, soup01. That's Osaka, okay. And check the export the server key and private key. This is a option later that you use it. And set your output patch. I think go to here. Okay, just make a new folder. OPCUA demo yen. Make some yes. Okay, demo yen. Okay, and press one more time. Okay. Please wait a second. Okay, done. Now the editor is changed to monitor mode automatically, so it means that the download process is finished. Now your OPCUA server is activated. The next step, I will show you how to use UA Expert to access the OPCUA server first, and then the last I use TwinCAT to access the OPCUA server with security policy. Okay, after we configure the Keyence PLC as a OPCUA server, now is the time to check the connection is really okay or not. In this setting, I will use UA Expert. It is a free software that you can download from the website, and don't worry, I will post the link in the video descriptions. Let's start to connect with the Keyence PLC. Okay, here is the plus button, and then here you can add the server in the screen. Go to custom discovery, double click the add server, and here just input the endpoint of the server URL 192.168.3.45 at port 4840. Okay, you see here the server is at, then browse it. This is KV OPCUA server. This is a Keyence server, and then browse it. Then you see so many options here. And from here to here is login, connect it with a security policy, and here this time we'll choose none first. Don't worry, we'll configure as a security connection later. Okay, press OK. And then now the server is added in your project. And then press this button, it's the circle button to connect it. Then it will ask you, can you trust this certification? Is not trust. Do you trust it? But you don't. Yes. And then continues. Okay, now the server is connected. Then you can see in the left hand side have a folder called root and object inside is PLC. When you browse the PLC object, there's a globe value folders. Then inside the globe value folders, then you have my view, my in array and my view. These V are variables that is be added before in the KV Studio. Just select both V variables and then drop to here. Then you can view the current value of this node. And here there's a status. So what it means status? It means that this node, this value, this node is okay or not, and this data can be used or not. Good, it means okay. So I can change the value in here and just plus the value field. For example, just a bool data type. Let's click the checkbox. Then you see the value will change to true. And let's change the value with my view. For example, then you see I cannot change it. Why? When you see the log, in here is the log output. Then is some event here. They will show you that bad not voidable, because in the KV Studio side we set this value as a output. It means it is read only. It does not allow the client to write the value. Finally, let's write some value in the array also. Just double click it and just write some value what you like. 92, 421, 1, and 999. Finally, just press the right button. There see all the value is right. Okay. Now we check the connection between my computer, the UA expert, to the KV8000 Keyence PLC is okay with the OPCUA connections. Now we can configure the TwinCAT connections with a security policy. Great, before we start to make the TwinCAT connections with security policy to the OPCUA server, this is some setting that I would like to modify in the KV6000 again. Here is my KV Studio project. Go to KV8000, double click it. Oh, sorry, I need to change it back to the editor mode. And then double click it, and then open the screen here, double click your CPU, and slow down. There, okay, here is the setting in the OPCUA server setting. Just click it, and it is the OPCUA server, OPCUA server security policy stuff that you can set here. Then the first thing I need to mention here is to disable the none connections. This way makes sense. If you work in the real application, it's not allowed any device can access or can write or read your variables. It's very dangerous. And the second one is in here. It's automatically trust of the server client server case. Please also disable this option, because it also not make sense to trust any server case. So it means that you trust any client that will trying to connect to you. The server need to accept it one by one, and then to see these connections really necessary or not. Just make sure these two settings is disabled in your KV project. The first one is security policy. Make sure set none. Set to the none is disabled. The second one is automatic trust of this client server key. Also make sure to set to disable. And after you change it, then just don't forget to transfer your project. Okay, now we can start to play with TwinCAT. Great, now we can start to configure our OPCUA client in the TwinCAT side. Here I create a new TwinCAT project in here. Go to IO and device, right click, add new items. Open the OPCUA tab and choose partial OPCUA device. And then now OPCUA partial device is added in your project. Inside you have some inputs to check the status of your device, but this is not our task in this tutorial. Go to right click, add new items, choose OPCUA client module, and then press OK. Now a client sharp one is added in your project. Then create. Here then you need to enter the endpoint that you set before in the KV8000. So also forget OPC, I think it's OPC.TCP 192.168.4.3.45 select endpoint. Oh, my mix up. 4840. Good. Okay, so just enter the endpoint URL in here, plus select endpoint. Then you'll find now you don't have the none security policy, because we disable the none access from in the KV side. So I will choose site and script base 256.256 binary and then press OK. Now you see the security policy and the security mode are changed. Just press add nodes. Then you see error is called some overhead happened while connecting. See details. Just click details. You need this TwinCAT asks you to check the trust lead and certificate on server. Okay, so what happened? Let's go to the KV sign here. And then what we can do here, you just go to KV8000 and right click, go to OPCUA server monitor, and here you can see the status of your OPCUA server. And go to certificate, client, we check. In here you will see a certificate is rejected in the OPCUA server. So why you reject it? Because in the reset that don't automatically accept all the certificate while a client try to connect to the server, and this makes sense. So its common name is node select something. So when we trust this node, I think TwinCAT now can add node into his project. Let's try it. Trust it. Now you see this. So okay, now he's in the trust list. Just close it. Go back to our TwinCAT side. Add node again. Boom. Now you can add the nodes. Just go to Object, PLC, Global Value. Just choose the post 3, enable write, and press OK. Now you can see both of node is added in your project. Now we go back to the KV side to make some simple program to make sure that the variable is really accessed or not. I always do the same way, so don't worry. I think I need to change to back to the editor mode and add a one clock pose here, and then right click here and insert a box script, and then just add some value inside. For example, my view is equal to my view plus 1.0. I don't need this one. My int array 0 array 0 is equal to plus 2, and finally is my boo is equal to true. TRUE. Done. Save it, and then monitor simulator, transfer to PLC, continue setting, no need to change, execute. Done. Okay, now the value change. Let's go back to our TwinCAT side. Now we can try to activate conversions. We set our TwinCAT system. Okay, let's check some variables. Still cannot connect. Why? In this time I will explain a file system of TwinCAT TF6100 for you. Let's go to your C drive or the drive that you install the TwinCAT functions. Open TwinCAT and functions TF6100 OPCUA, Win32, and client PKI CA. So there's some folders in here. The first one is trust. Trust is mean mod certification you trust, and reject. Here is the, I think is certificate you need to process now. Here, what you need to do, just copy it. I think you don't need to do it, and go to trust, certificate, copy it. I think it's need to cut it, not copy it, right? Yes, cut it, and go back to trust, certificate, and copy it. Okay, but also in the KV Studio side, go back to your Studio, KV Studio, go to KV8000, right click, OPCUA server monitor, open the client certificate, go to reject. There's one more certificate that OPCUA reject, OPCUA server reject. The first one they reject is for no snack only. Then the second one I think is for the for the data exchange. So what we need to do, just trust it. Done. Now both of certificate in the trust list, and go back to the TwinCAT, and I'll do it again. Okay, just see what happened now. It seems like I still cannot connect. Just let me see. Let me see. Oops, I know why. It's because I didn't turn on the PLC. Just wait a second. Okay, let me check. Oh, now you see the blue value is equal to true, and the input array here, input side, yeah, some values here, and also this one also have some value. Okay, so the first one I need to mention that my view is only have input but not output. It's because in KV Studio is that this variables only read only. So in TwinCAT they will not allow you to output a value back to the server. So now I would like to write some value back to the OPCUA server side. What we need to do, let's go to client sharp1, output, control, write enable. There's a flag in here. You need to turn it to true, or to true to enable to write the value back to OPCUA server. Write 1, enter, and then okay, in here I try to write array, go to output value, for example the number 4. Okay, that's wrong button. Write write 79. Let's go back to the KV Studio side. Okay, now we can come back to the KV Studio to see what happened of our write value in here. Just go to monitor and register monitor windows, and device here, write my device number 4. Here you see the value is 79. Why? Because in TwinCAT we write 79 in here. Okay, so this is the end of my video. I hope you like this. In this video you know how to use security policy to connect between OPCUA and OPCUA server. It is very useful in the future, because I think the customer will not allow you to use none in the real factory manufacturing. I hope you like my videos. Please click like and comment. See you later. Bye bye.